What is going on, Jerome's? Happy Thursday. Happy Thirsty Thursday out there to those who celebrate. And mercifully, by God, we made it. 1 week until the NFL draft. And I know the graphic usually has Kwesi on the draft day, but I feel like Brian Flores is going to get his way. I think the Minnesota Vikings are absolutely going to build a friggin' bully on defense, and I can't wait for it. I'm pretty damn excited about it. Also excited about is the annual Draft Month Food Shelf fundraiser, and we're underway. Goal for the month is $2,200. We're currently just over $700, but of course, I'll be bumped up during the draft, and we are going to live stream day 1, day 2. It's going to be good times. So all Venmos, Super Chats, Cash Apps, all regular donations to the show this month will be donated to Twin Cities Food Shelves. Working with every meal this year. So check them out. The details are down below. You can donate directly to them. If you do, email us, so we'll add you to the tally and then go from there. And like we said, our goal for the month is $2,200 because $1,100 is food bags for one child for 3 years. And what every meal does is a lot of kids get their sustenance and nutrition from school, so filling in the gaps on the weekends, holidays, and summer. That's they do great work right here in the Twin Cities, so support them. And it's always fun because I feel like hope springs eternal. A lot of traffic this month, and we're glad that we can give a little something back and paying it forward and all that stuff. And hopefully it's good juju so we can hoist a dozen drum parties in the next 10 years. That's all. A team that hasn't ever hoisted a drum party, although. So I feel like the Browns winning all those championships, like back in the when there was like 5 teams, 4 of them were in Canton. Should that count? Because the Packers definitely count those championships. It's like, oh, we beat the Chicago Bears and the Chicago Cardinals and the Chicago Pros and the Chicago. We're number 1. Whatever. And that back when people were doing the Charleston, talking about the Great War, didn't know that 2 was coming. It's ridiculous, man. Anyways, but the Browns are back for the first time, so they're rolling with the white face mask. And it's so weird how just a slight change, just like a slight color change completely makes things pop. Because, I mean, the Browns usually have either gray face masks or brown face masks, and it's not the same. But white looks good, man. That's right. So our guy Eli Corbett, resident graphic, amazing dude. So he made things pop a little bit. So the Vikings, they do have great face masks on the throwback Bud uniforms from back in the day, but I feel like white would look really, really damn good too. And I believe the Vikings for a hot second had white face masks like back in the 70s. But this looks really good. This looks really like this makes my hot go like this, and that's probably not just like the 4 Celsius and 2 espressos I'm on today, but this looks good. This looks really, really good. Not gonna lie, man. Something I also can't lie about is the NFL draft coming up, and Per Persuasion put this together. Per Burt Breer, the Monday morning quarterback, the Patriots looking into Michael Penix Jr. later in the process might indicate that the New England Patriots are a little more serious considering a trade down. He also noted that there certainly could see the Vikings and Giants moving up to pick 3. Now, we're going to go through this a little bit more in depth a little bit later on. Also, it's important to note that the Giants have done some due diligence on Spencer Rattler and Bo Nix. So it could be a spot where the Patriots are thinking about circling around and either taking Penix in round 2 or maneuvering at the back end of round 1. Same thing with the Giants. So it could be a spot where the Patriots could be open for business in a trade down if they don't get their guy at 3, which is certainly like a plausible scenario would be Jaden Daniels. The Patriots want him. And the whatever on May and McCarthy. And Daniels goes to Washington, and then that's a ripple effect where the Vikings can move up to 3 and take their quarterback of choice. But also, the Giants is a big-time crux as well. Because the Giants, I mean, say it goes 1, 2, 3 with quarterbacks, and say it's May or McCarthy falls. I don't think Daniels does. But say they get by the Giants at 6. And the Giants have so many other damn needs. They could use a receiver. They could use offensive linemen. Everything. They need everything, man. But if a quarterback gets by 6, so the Vikings would have a shorter putt getting up to 7 or 8 and effectively boxing out the Broncos and the Raiders. So that certainly would be nice. And what's also nice is that the Vikings, they got some nice going on in terms of landing spot for the rookie quarterback TBD. Jory Epstein, who's fantastic, and I'm sure she's heard all the jokes. Right, but Jory Epstein is fantastic. Even though she writes about the Cowboys, It's okay. Quote, if you gave truth serum to the agents of all the top quarterbacks, which I feel like they should, because agents are technically lawyers and just making lawyers tell the truth. Oh, it's like the movie Liar Liar. It's good. But move the sticks, Daniel Jeremiah. I think all of them would say they want their guy going to Minnesota. Vikings have 3 Ps. Play caller, protection, playmakers. Protection? Yeah. Rookie can sit behind Sam Darnold at first potentially. Oh, that's the 4th P. By far best situation. And it really is. And if you're the agent of Drake May, if you're the agent of J.J. McCarthy, if you're the agent of Jaden Daniels, you want your client to get his ass to Minnesota, right? And, I mean, Caleb Williams going to Chicago is a place where quarterbacks go to die, so I'm actually kind of worried about him, but it is what it is. And the other guys landing in Minnesota with Jefferson, with Addison with this amazing white face mask, with Hawkinson when he's healthy, he's a tight end 3 in the league, and he's not 3. Also, Darisaw, O'Neal, yes, suture up that interior offensive line. Aaron Jones, a Ty Chandler in the backfield. Kevin O'Connell, Josh McCown, Flores defense emerging. You play in an inside dome stadium, which is important for quarterbacks, and you're kind of good. You are kind of good. So I want to see some more shenanigans because, I mean, if agents are all saying that, like, where's all the leaks saying that Minnesota is a place to be? Minnesota should trade up. Minnesota has all the value. Where's all that? Because that's all the leaks are this time of year is agents just trying to maneuver. Also, hey, if you're the agent, all right, let's say not going to pull Eli Manning, John Elway at 1. That's fine. But, hey, if you're Drake May or Jaden Daniels or J.J. McCarthy and you want to make sure you get to the Vikings, what's stopping you from pulling the Eli Elway later on in the draft? So say May gets by 3, and then all of a sudden the Cardinals are on the clock at 4, and how about Drake May's agent puts out there, I'm not going to play for the Giants, I'm not going to play for the Broncos, I'm not going to play for the Raiders. Beep, bop, 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 boop. If you select me, I will force a trade. And we just make it happen. That's right, man. That's right. So, yeah, obviously the Vikings are perfectly set up. And even if the Vikings don't trade up for a quarterback, sticking and picking and taking Nix or even, I have my concerns about Nix, but if he's the guy, he's the guy. Penix, yeah, I think things are going to be good. Also, things are going to be good. So, say the Vikings stick and pick at 11, take Michael Penix Jr. or whatever. I love Graham Barton. Like, the more I scratch this dude's lotto ticket, the more I think that he is going to be a jackpot. And I understand JPJ. I also love me some Zach Frazier. But in terms of interior offensive lineman, I do think that Graham Barton is in a class by himself. Now, I understand he hasn't played center since his freshman year in Durham, and I understand that he's been the Duke left tackle for the last 3 years. He's going to kick inside, and he's going to be a Pro Bowl guard, or he's going to be an all-pro center. Just the movement skills, the leadership, the ass, the strength, the anchor, everything. Everything is there. Like, he kind of reminds me of a reverse Elton Jenkins. So we talked about this before. So Elton Jenkins was a great center at Mississippi State. He was drafted after Bradbury. No big deal. Went to Green Bay, turned himself into a great guard and tackle. So this is the inverse of that, where you have a great college tackle that's going to turn himself into a great interior offensive lineman. I just want him. I just need him. Like, mama baby. Come on. Why are you calling your mama baby? I don't know. But Oedipus. But so Penix at 11. Wow, that got deep. Penix at 11. Barton at 23. Let's ride. Or flip-flop it. Hell, take Barton at 11. I don't care. Just get it done. Go ahead. Also, so yesterday was a weird day. So it started off with Belichick just being thrown under the bus in the new ESPN piece. And, Wickersham has been, he's been the go-to guy for Patriots hit pieces, but it feels like Robert Kraft was definitely steering this one. So Warren Sharp Football really surmised this very well. The NFL is a nasty business. Robert Kraft called Arthur Blank to warn him not to trust Bill Belichick. Because remember, after Belichick and the Patriots parted ways, it looked like it was a mortal lock for Belichick to end up in Atlanta, but then they pulled the 180 and hired Raheem Morris. Kraft was a big part of why the Falcons passed on hiring Belichick. Kraft found Bill to be extremely difficult and obstinate and kind of stubborn, and in the end, not worthy of his trust, also very, very, very arrogant. Well, if you win 6 Super Bowls, I feel like you can be just a little bit arrogant, right? And the whole thing about Kraft and Belichick is it was a good working relationship. Were they buddy-buddy at a time? Sure. Are they buddy-buddy now? No. But so I read the article, and it just completely comes off as petty, as thin-skinned, as I don't know, just completely ungrateful too. Just egos get involved, and that's what happens. Where if you fail, you fail, right? And there's always finger pointing when you fail, but it can be just as bad as when you have success, because people's egos get involved, and people assume that there's a finite pie in terms of credit for success. And Kraft's got a big ego too. He really does. And he saw that Belichick and Brady were getting all the credit for the dynasty, 6 Super Bowl wins. And Kraft's like, oh, well, what about me? I own the team. Okay. Or you could just be happy that Bill Belichick was the greatest head coach of all time. He synced up with the greatest quarterback of all time, who Belichick drafted in the 6th round, by the way. And just be thankful for that. But no. I don't get it. Like, how does it get to that point? You have this much success. You're spoiled as an owner. You completely spoiled and ruin your fan base. Their expectations are out of this world. I mean, God bless whichever quarterback ends up in New England. Oh, I will say this. Drake May needs work. If he ends up with the Patriots or the Commies, he will be ruined. That's why, for the sake of football, Drake May needs to end up with the Vikings. That's it. But I mean, if you're Kraft, like, how's it get to this point? Also, what's great too is that they wish Belichick a happy birthday yesterday. Oh, sorry, on the 16th. It was just hilarious. So, happy birthday, and then stab you in the back in your face. That's all. Also, why block him? Like why block him? Like, I understand, like, owners like have their own fraternity, and I'm sure that Kraft and Arthur Blank are buddy and stuff. But why? Why just poison the well? Or if Belichick looks to get back into the game next year with the Eagles, possibly, he's very tight with Howie Roseman, or with the Cowboys, Jerry Jones. Was Kraft going to do this again? Come on, man. It's ridiculous. But and also, what was great too is that, so in the afternoon, Belichick was on with McAfee, and Belichick and McAfee are going to do draft coverage, and Belichick's signed on with Omaha Productions, so he's probably going to do some sort of Manning cast type thing. I would love for him and Saban just to do that and just, like, talk ball. It'd be fantastic. But so people were complaining about Belichick being framed like he's Kevin Hart in this thing. But, of course, he wants to flex on the hardware, man. That's exactly what he's doing. Bill knows what's up. That's right. And, I mean, is Bill Belichick arrogant? Yes. But also, when you have success, you're able to be arrogant. And I don't write the rules. That's just how it is, right? Is it right? Probably not. But is it how it is? Yes, it absolutely is how it is. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know if Kraft thought that he was coming off as the good guy in this. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, man. Something's not ridiculous. So the Vikings, according to Sharp Football, bring it back, have the 8th best draft capital in the National Football League. So now, yeah, of course, the Vikings do have 11 and 23. They're absent a day 2 selection, so no picks in round 2 or 3, but they do have 7 day 3 selection. So beep, bop, 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 boop. That does give them the 8th best draft capital in this class. Now, Cardinals are up there at 1 because the Cardinals have 4 and 27. The Commies also have a suite of picks, including number 2. The Bears, despite having 1 and 9, are number 3. That's because they only have 4 total selections in this class. So the Vikings are sitting pretty good. Although, I mean, the stupid greasy Green Bay Packers are flush with day 2 selections. So whatever. That's what I say to that. Speaking of the Chargers, so funny, like, Chargers fans are, like, they're spoiled without championships. Like, I again, don't want to put down another fan base, but just checking the temperature, I feel like there's a lot of very arrogant Chargers fans, and I don't get it. Like, the Chargers are the AFC Vikings. The Chargers are the Vikings of better weather. They just build you up to cut you down. But they got Jim Harbaugh, jumping Jim Harbaugh. He wants to build an O-line. He wants to run the football, right? And this mock draft has been making the rounds. I mean, this is the mock draft from Dane Brugler, The Athletic. And Chargers fans are so pissed. They're so pissed off about this, which I don't get. I don't understand that at all. Now, obviously, different needs for different teams, but in terms of like BPA, and yes, the Michigan tax is certainly in full effect here. I friggin' love this draft. So, J.C. Latham coming in from Alabama. Well, we're paying our right tackle $9 million. Don't care. Latham's better. That's what it comes down to. And also, you don't have to move Rashawn from left tackle. So Latham, right tackle, good to go. Or if you want to kick him inside for a year, go ahead. Do that. Chris Jenkins will completely transform the defensive front. He's extremely versatile. He's all heart and hustle. He's a great leader as well. And obviously, Harbaugh trusts him. So there you go. Keon Coleman. So Keon Coleman is going to be a younger, cheaper, healthier version of Mike Williams. That's what he's going to be. And then also Blake Corum. I think that's where people got pissed off because 69, nice. But, I mean, Blake Corum, you're concerned about health, concerned about him being a two-down back, sure. But also, I mean, you're going to need backs. And you got Gus Bus, you got J.K. Dobbins. Of course, you got Greg Roman in the building. So you're going to chew through running backs. So getting him there ain't bad. Nehemiah Pritchett, I love. Hunter Newsrad, I love. Trotter Jr. obviously is going to be a stud. Adding him to that linebacker mix. Trevor Keegan. So not Zach Zinter, but Trevor Keegan going to the Chargers in that spot. And yeah, Michigan ties, whatever. He at minimum, he's great depth. McLaughlin on Arkansas, good corner on the outside, as well as Michael Barrett Jr. I Barrett Jr. is getting slept on at minimum. At minimum, he's going to be elite on special teams, especially given the new kickoff rule where you're going to need guys with closing speed, and Barrett certainly does that. He does have that. He's got a very good nose for the football. So, yes, I mean, Michigan tax is in full effect, but honestly, I mean, obviously the Vikings don't have the same picks as the Chargers, but if you gave me basically this draft, I would be happy as a clam, man. Absent the quarterback, obviously, but I don't know. But like Chargers, you got your franchise quarterback, you got a tough-nosed coach who wants to build in the trenches. What more do you want? Just spoiled. Also, so wrapping up with the Seahawks. This is weird. So Mike McDonald, new head coach, a former Ravens defense coordinator. This is from NFL Draft Files. Report: Mike McDonald is changing the culture in Seattle. Not only has he removed the basketball hoop from HQ, which is a staple for Pete Carroll. In fact, when Russell Wilson beat out Matt Flynn for the starting quarterback job in what year was that? Was that 2012? Yeah. Either way, whichever year. No, was it? Doesn't matter. But the year that Russ beat out Matt Flynn, he told Russ that he won the starting job while shooting hoops. Probably that same hoop. He's also made a wall displaying famous Legion of Boom players and plays blank. So he's trying to change the culture. He's trying to do that, but this seems very insecure. It basically coming in, I'm the new sheriff in town. Look at me. I'm going to end up like Joe Judge and Matt Patricia. I don't know, man. Like, you can honor the past. And also the past still is an executive. I mean, Pete Carroll still has an office in that damn building. And you got to respect Pete. Like, Pete gave Seattle their only Super Bowl win. Could have had two, but and also the longest sustained period of success in franchise history. So you're basically just spitting in Pete's face. I don't like it. I feel like Seahawks fans shouldn't like it either. I mean, Mike McDonald might be fine, and he may win some ball games. He might do this, that, and the other thing, but this is not a good first step. Nah. Anyways, that's it. Long story longer. This has been the Vikings news dump for this beautiful Thursday. 1 week until the draft. There you go. You guys are the best you know what to do. Skull production value.